I will be buying the top of Bitcoin forever, and you should be too if you're actually any good at understanding how money works. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Gen Z BTC. It's me, Satoshi Guapamoto, and today we're going to be talking about buying the top of Bitcoin, right? So in moments like this where Bitcoin is hovering and consolidating around 110,000, there's a lot of people who start to get a little bit nervous, especially when they haven't been in the space that long. And they start thinking, it's probably going to break out and go down. Maybe I'll sell some and try to buy back in later. And they have this mindset of trading the Bitcoin for 1 or 2 percentage points back and forth. This is, to put it lightly, extremely stupid, and you should not be doing this. Okay. First off, 99% of traders are not profitable. They just end up losing money because they have their trading fees that they have to pay. That's the first thing. And then secondly, they're just not good at timing the market. All right. If you are not a high frequency trading algorithm, then you are not good at timing the market. You should not be doing that. And even those high frequency bots get caught on bad trades every now and then whenever some terrible news breaks, right? When it comes to Bitcoin and really any value investment, time in the market beats timing the market. So you want to have as much time in the market as possible. This is going to dampen the amount of volatility that you're experiencing with Bitcoin, but also it's allowing you to capture what volatility that there is because you're buying on the downs, you're buying on the ups. And then overall, since Bitcoin only goes up and to the right because it is a fixed asset, you end up profiting in the long run. Okay. Bitcoin is always profitable in the long run. What's the long run? 4 years minimum, because if you understand how the halving cycle works, Bitcoin becomes twice as rare every 4 years. Okay. So first off, just let's think from first principles really quickly. If you have an asset like Bitcoin that literally you cannot make any more of, it is extremely not just scarce. Okay. It's literally finite and everybody wants it. Whether they realize it or not, everyone wants to store their value. Okay. Everyone wants good money. They want clean money, whether they realize it right now or not. Everyone wants this thing. Most of the people don't even realize they want it yet, and they're coming. So why would you not hold the finite and valuable thing that's in high demand with increasing, ever increasing demand? Okay. There are people who aren't even born yet who will be trying to buy Bitcoin, who will need to hold and utilize Bitcoin. Okay. So while we live in a system where you can still buy Bitcoins with dollars, which are backed by nothing and are basically paper, fake fiat, you should probably try to get as much Bitcoin as possible. That's the race that we're witnessing right now. And most people are asleep at the wheel. All right. So should you be buying the top? My opinion, yeah, you're going to be buying the top forever. Okay. Yes, there might be boom and bust cycles because people are very greedy and stupid and they use too much leverage. They use too much debt. They get too arrogant about their trades. They get too euphoric about their trades. And then these tiny little bubbles form. They pop, but they always come back. Okay. Bitcoin's not a bubble because there are moments where bubbles form. They pop, but then it always comes back 10x bigger. All right. This is not like tulips. This is not pets.com. This is a forever thing. Okay. So if you are long on human ingenuity, if you are long on technology, if you are long on human existence, then that means you are long on Bitcoin. Because if you understand how Bitcoin works, the only way that Bitcoin fails really is through some sort of existential crisis, like a meteor hitting the earth. Then Bitcoin's probably not going to be worth much, buddy, once everybody's cooked. Okay. So if you understand that and you believe that the arc of history will continue to go forward, then that means that you're going to want to be long Bitcoin and buy the top forever. Let's just take an example. If you bought the all-time high every single year that Bitcoin's ever existed, you would be up a lot of money, low bro, because there was a point where the all-time high was $1 and then $10 and then $100 and then $1,000. Let's just say you bought one Bitcoin every single time at each all-time high. Yeah, you're up. Okay. You're up, low bro. And that's pretty obvious because again, it's a finite thing and more people are coming to get it. You can't print any more of it. What's the actual top of Bitcoin? What's the top price? What's the final price? There is no final price. Because what's the top limit of dollars that can be printed? What's the maximum amount of dollars that can be printed? It's an infinite amount. Fiat has no top, all right? Fiat can be infinitely printed. That's why the deficit goes from 1 million to 10 million to 100 million to 10 billion to 100 billion to 10 trillion, soon to be 100 trillion. And that's going to keep going because there's no limit to the amount of money you can use to flood the system, okay? With Bitcoin, there's only 21 million. And because paper money can be inflated infinitely, that means that each individual unit has less value because it is less scarce. You made so many of them that they buy you less stuff, which is why in the future, like most places that have experienced hyperinflation, you're going to need $250,000 to buy a carton of eggs and a loaf of bread, right? With Bitcoin, you cannot infinitely print them. There is a finite amount no matter what you do. It doesn't matter how high the price goes. You still aren't going to make any more Bitcoins. And the people who have them don't even need to sell them because Bitcoin is money. And if you want, you can just hold them and then use them to transact in the future. Okay? Fiat has no top, right? Because you can infinitely make them. Bitcoin also has no top when priced in fiat. When priced in dollars, Bitcoin has no cap dollar price. All right? Put another way, Bitcoin has no top because fiat has no bottom. All right? There's no limit to how low the dollar's purchasing power can go. It can go down infinitely. Do you understand? It can literally go down an infinite amount. At one point, $1 bought you a burger, right? Then $1 only bought you a set of buns, right? Then $1 only bought you a single sesame seed. Then $1 only buys you, you know what I mean? This can keep on going to infinitum. That can keep going. And while that dollar's losing value, while you can buy less stuff with that dollar, Bitcoin's becoming more valuable because you can buy more stuff with that Bitcoin. Put another way, there was a point where one piece of paper, $1, was able to buy you one Bitcoin. People said that that was overpriced, by the way, at one point. Now, $1 can't even buy you 1% of a Bitcoin. Pretty soon, it won't even buy you 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin. It won't even buy you anything. You understand what I'm saying? The value of the dollar is going down. The value of the Bitcoin is going up because scarce and finite and desirable things always go up forever in value, right? That's their nature. The nature of Bitcoin is to go up forever. The nature of someone who understands Bitcoin is to buy the top forever. Since there is literally no top. Every single top that you buy in Bitcoin is just a bottom waiting to be formed. Okay? Oh, you bought at the top, bro. You bought at $10. You're an idiot, bro. It was literally $1 a few years ago. Yeah, you bought way too late, bro. You bought it at $100, bro. It was $10 a few years ago. Bro, you bought it at $1,000, you're an idiot. Bro, you bought it at $10,000, you're an idiot. Bro, you bought it at $100,000, you're an idiot. It was literally $10,000 just a few years ago. Pretty soon, people will be saying, you bought it at $1 million? You're an idiot. There's people who aren't even born yet that need to buy it. Do you understand? $1 million is the new $1 eventually, okay? You can sit here and say that sounds ridiculous. It's not possible. Okay. Just come back to the video. Probably 4 years from now. 4 years should be good. But that's the problem with this channel, man. You know, all the things I say are just true. But to the people who don't really get it, you need time to tell you. But by the time that we are at that point, then you're just upset with yourself. You're angry. You're crying. You're coping. But I have good news for you. I have good news for you. All the people watching in the future, I have good news for you. Even though you are extremely late to Bitcoin by my perspective, you are still unbelievably early to Bitcoin in the arc of human history, right? The story of Bitcoin is a story that will go on for thousands of years. So you're super good. Don't worry about it. Yes, You're buying at $2 million. You're buying at $10 million. Don't worry, you're still super early because there's still people who haven't even been born yet who will have to buy it. So you're good. Why don't you just start stacking now and save it? Don't lose it. Hold on to your own keys. Don't get too greedy. Don't get too euphoric. Just chill. Go for the ride. You'll be good. You will be good. Don't worry about it. It might take a little bit longer for you than it did for me because I was just here a little bit earlier than you. All these people who are watching it today were here a little bit earlier than you. But you still have a lot of time, buddy, especially if you can still actually buy Bitcoin. If you can buy it with something else, you are super, super early. There's going to come a point where you won't be able to buy Bitcoins with fake money. You won't be able to use fake money like dollars or USDT to buy Bitcoin. You'll just have to work for it. You'll need something that is tangible and real. You'll have to produce value in order for someone to give you Bitcoin, right? And if you are at that stage, I'm going to be honest, you are actually late. I am terribly sorry, but I'm sure you'll figure it out, right? Everyone always figures it out. That's the great thing about humans. No matter what, we always seem to figure it out, no matter how bad the situation is or how late we are to something. So I'm sure you'll figure it out. But for all the people who are still early enough to buy it for 1 million, 2 million, 10 million, you better get stacking or die trying. If you enjoyed that video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share with someone who might also find it interesting. And check out one of these videos on the side right here if you like my educational content.